Hello my dear viewers, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to take a closer look on one of the most famous feminine icons or icons of femininity from nowadays, and it's Dita Von Teese. Many of you have voted for Dita Von Teese because I am already doing those videos about feminine icons or idols of femininity for quite some time, and now it's time for her because she is not only the undisputed queen of modern burlesque, but also she is kind of an emblem of timeless femininity, elegance and empowerment. We will come to that later, but what I can say, or what I personally think is so special about her type of feminine essence or feminine energy, is that she is able to kind of balance and combine two things that are very difficult to combine: the erotic appearance and strong sensuality of burlesque, which is of course a form of art and a feminine dance, but it is also closely linked to variety. On the other hand, she combines that with so much class and elegance that it doesn't look cheap, and that she never comes across as vulgar or cheap, even though she is also naked in her performances, even though she is wearing lingerie on stage and in her performances. Of course, that's part of burlesque, but the kind of combination of this high class and elegance with this very sensual and erotic appearance and style is unique. And to balance it in that way, that you are still respected as a very elegant woman, is not easy, and she did it perfectly. And we will take a closer look not only on that ability and on how we can also channel a little bit of her charm in our own way of being feminine, but we will also look, of course, at different aspects that make her special and that we can learn from. And if you are new to this channel and like feminine content, I would be super happy if you subscribe, join our community and click the notification bell so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. And we will now start with number one. So as we know, or as I have already hinted, Dita Von Teese has her own unique individual kind of philosophy with regard to femininity. She emphasizes very often that femininity isn't about conforming to a societal standard, but that it is about self-expression and celebrating individuality. She once famously said, and I really love that quote, "You can be the ripest, juiciest peach in the world, and there is still going to be somebody who hates peaches." And I found that so funny and so enlightening, because it is not only about peaches. Of course, if you interpret this quote, it says that even if you are really super beautiful to someone else, you might not be interesting at all. So it is not about conforming to a standard of beauty that is considered beautiful for many people, because you can have your own individual beauty and you can be as beautiful to someone else, and then on the other hand there can be people who are not into the standard. So it is all about making the best of yourself. You can be an apple, you can be a peach or a strawberry, but be the best apple or peach or strawberry that you can be. Of course, it starts with seeing the beauty in yourself and then enhancing what you have or what you feel good with. Now we will take a look at the second point, which is curating your own personal style. Dita's look is of course instantly recognizable. Red lips, porcelain skin and impeccably styled hair. Dita believes that curating your own personal style is something that should become your signature. And I also think like that. Because if you remember, if you are already subscribed and have seen my video about how to be the most interesting woman in the room, I will link that video here and down below so that you can watch it afterwards. Because there I'm telling you a story about a friend of mine, a woman that is using a specific accessory that made her really stand out and very recognizable. And this is also absolutely not conforming with societal standards. But watch that video if you want to know more about that. So I am really a big fan of a signature style, whatever it is, if it is a signature accessory, a signature perfume, or a signature clothing style, whatever it is good if you express your own personal feminine personality. So my everyday tips, or the tips that Dita Von Teese is also using, are: find your colors. Experimenting with shades is very important. It strongly depends on your own complexion, which colors will look best on you. And of course, Dita, who is clearly a winter type, if you know about color theory, she uses mainly black, red, and also white. But she also has a high contrast and it really looks good on her. I think it wouldn't look that good on me because I'm a totally different type. Even though you might love her style, really try to see if it is really your color palette. And if you just like the style, but it is absolutely not your color, you can just use the style or adapt some of the elements of her style, but not the same colors. So it's not about copying, it's about finding the perfect thing for you. The second tip is tailored wardrobe. So something that is also very special about her and that I also like is that she uses very tailored clothes, and her clothes really looks that they fit like a glove. And it's not only because she uses corsets and things like that, but also it is because of the right fit. So always try to choose also clothes that fits you well, such as pencil skirts, tailored pants, or vintage inspired dresses. And if they do not fit you well, get them tailored, get them adjusted. Also things like corsets. This one is, for example, a corset that can be worn over a shirt or over some other kind of clothes. I like to incorporate those kind of accessories in my wardrobe from time to time because I kind of like it, even though I'm not the vintage type, but I like some elements of that. I like some corsets sometimes, and why not experimenting with it and simply developing your own personal style. If there is something you particularly love about Dita Von Teese's look, experiment if this might become your style. And the third tip is to be also conscious about accessories. So accessories are always a good thing, but don't go overboard. So always use 1 or 2 statement accessories and don't use too much because this will diminish the elegant look. And I, for example, actually wanted to wear a big headband with some like glittering things today, but I thought that it kind of was too much. So I didn't use it because I already think that this corset accessory that I'm using on my normal dress, basically I'm wearing a normal pencil dress that I would as well use for work, but I put on this corset to make it look different. And of course, because this video is about Dita Von Teese. So, but that's what I mean. This is already a statement piece. It is already enough. I didn't need a headband. I didn't need big jewelry because this would be too much. So always consider that. Well, let's go on with number 3. The power of presentation. Dita Von Teese also knows how to present herself. And of course, we will not ignore this important fact, because she, whether she's walking her dog, stepping onto a stage, she always maintains a polished appearance. Elegance is really in the details. So what can you do to also incorporate this kind of polished appearance in your everyday activities? Tip number 1, prioritize grooming. Even though it is time consuming, grooming is really important. And you don't have to go overboard like Dita Von Teese with her perfect hair and everything. But invest some time in grooming. Keep your nails manicured, your hair styled, your makeup clean, subtle yet defined. A simple red lip or a winged eyeliner can also add a touch of elegance, this vintage style that also Dita Von Teese uses. Experiment with it. Sometimes I enjoy just using a nice red lip or a winged eyeliner. It kind of gives you instant glamour. Tip number 2, stand tall. You know that I am very enthusiastic about posture, and I have done many videos on that, and I will link the playlist down below. But the thing is that posture is very, very important when it comes to appearing poised and elegance. It is the most easiest thing to exude confidence. So always imagine a transparent string is pulling you up on the top of your head. Just imagine that, and then you instantly will grow and stand taller, and your spine will be straight and aligned. And of course it helps to wear a corset, but even if you are not wearing a corset, you can imagine this string and you will instantly improve your posture. And then I come to the third tip, which is a personal tip of mine, and that's the signature scent. You also establish a presence with your scent, because when you enter a room or people see you regularly and you have a signature scent, they will always connect your appearance with the scent, and it will give them an emotional connotation, which is what fragrances usually do. So choose a fragrance that makes you feel confident and feminine. Dita herself loves vintage influenced or vintage inspired fragrances with floral and musky notes, and I can imagine that she is for sure using Chanel No. 5, but there are also other nice perfumes that I could imagine on her. I'm not sure if she is using them, but one fragrance that is very, very expensive smelling, and it is also expensive, but it is very Dita, would be Portrait of a Lady, a wonderfully full-bodied, rosy, well, it is a rosy scent, but it is kind of heavy in a very vintage way. It has a little bit of incense, so you can imagine it smells very boudoir-like, very ladylike. So if you are interested in those kind of perfumes that would perfectly fit the Dita Von Teese style, I can recommend you Portrait of a Lady. And if you are looking for a more budget-friendly option, I would say that either Chanel No. 5 or Chanel Coco Mademoiselle would be a perfect fit. Confidence is the core of femininity. I'm not the only one who is saying that. I have heard it from multiple people, especially from men, and science also tells us that confidence is a very important factor that makes women attractive in their own individual feminine way, because it is not so much about, as I said, the current beauty standard. Dita Von Teese radiates a lot of confidence, but it is not because she's perfect, although she is, but it is because she embraces her individuality. And she herself often talks about how she transformed from a shy, blonde-haired girl into this dark-haired femme fatale because she wanted it, because she felt like it. And if she can do it, we can do that too. It is all about your desires and who you want to be. And maybe you are already happy with the shy blonde girl, but you just want to enhance it a little bit and bring out the best of this girl. It doesn't have to be an extreme transformation. It can also be a little tweak there or a little transformation there, something that simply feels good to you. So here are my everyday tips. Number 1, celebrate your uniqueness. Always focus on what makes you special rather than trying to conform to trends. This will always be better. Also, practice positive self-talk. Replace criticism with positive affirmations. I have talked about this many times. Sometimes it's good to talk to you or to yourself in the mirror and tell yourself positive things. And something that I also kind of find good sometimes. It is fake it till you make it. Confidence often grows from acting confidently. And even though you might not feel like it, smile, make eye contact, nod. I have made a lot of videos about confidence and about confident boosters, about body language. Everything will be linked down below and you can find it in my playlist, so you will be perfectly equipped to fake it till you make it, because in the end you will adapt the feeling of confidence just by acting confidently. Embrace the old school glamour. So Dita Von Teese aesthetic, and she has a very specific kind of aesthetic, is of course rooted in the elegance of the bygone eras, so old Hollywood mainly. She brings the kind of sophisticated vintage style of Hollywood into her appearance and combines it a little bit with the modern world, or she brings it into the modern world. So which tips can I give you to also incorporate a little bit of old Hollywood glamour in your own life? Tip number 1 would be vintage hairstyles. And I also experiment with that from time to time, although it's not totally my thing, but maybe you are the type that would look really good in vintage hairstyle. So try to learn simple techniques for pin curls, for example, or victory rolls, and see how it looks on you. This way you can always add a little bit of this vintage style into an evening look, for example. Another tip would be classic makeup. Of course, with the classic makeup that also Marilyn Monroe used, the winged eyeliner, the red lip, the clear complexion, you can also bring a little bit old Hollywood glamour into your appearance. And another tip that I like very much is to incorporate some specific evening rituals. So for example, you can use a very luxurious robe in the evening at home and simply feel more vintage and more feminine in your own home by using those luxurious pieces. Cultivate femininity beyond appearances. Dita Von Teese believes that elegance is a holistic practice. Her femininity also shows in her manners, in her speech, in the way she moves. And that's what is also a very big part of her individual femininity. If you also want to develop into this elegant, sensual being, or you want to bring out this feminine essence in you, I would recommend you to also practice a graceful movement. Practice walking slowly and deliberately. Learn how to sway your hips. I have made many videos on that. I will link them down below. I even have a whole playlist full of videos about walking styles, swaying your hips, etc. It's called Walk Like a Lady, and I will link it down below. So practice, 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 and you will develop also your own walking style and your movement. The second tip is a soft speech, another aspect of femininity. Avoid raising your voice unnecessarily. Enunciate your words well to sound poised. You can also do a lot with your voice, and I have also a tutorial, sorry, but there are so many videos that I have made that are kind of related to this topic. That's why I am mentioning them, but I will link them all down below so that you can take a look peacefully after that video and learn more. Tip number 3 for that would be gentle gestures, which is another important factor in femininity. Use subtle and deliberate gestures if you are using your hands, for example, or if you are talking. This will also add a lot of feminine essence, feminine energy and elegance. If I look at it, I would say that Dita Von Teese clearly shows us that femininity is not a rigid mold, but it is really a personal journey. She inspires women to celebrate her femininity, to cultivate elegance, and to embrace the power of self-transformation. And to come back to that initial question, how she manages to be sexy and erotic and at the same time classy and elegant, it is a mixture of confidence, her classic style, because classic style will always look more classy than a very modern style, and how she moves and talks, her demeanor, her manners, her posture. So this combination of all these aspects makes her so feminine and so erotic in a very classy way. And this is what we can also do for ourselves in whatever way we want to do it. But what Dita has proven and what we should definitely take away from her is that embracing your unique style and being confident about your feminine essence is the most important. And of course, we can use all those kinds of beautiful feminine accessories and clothes and things and makeup, and what she also uses, of course, in her style to make us feel more feminine and to express ourselves. And I hope that this video was inspirational for you, and if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. I will be very happy to read from you in the comments. Let me know what you think or what you like about Dita Von Teese, if this is your kind of femininity or not so much, and what other feminine icons you prefer. And I am happy to read from you. I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.